All right, so in this lesson, we're going to do some cool things with text where we are basically going to make text, except we're going to essentially fill the text with an image. And so for this one, the best thing to probably do is to pick a landscape image that you can use. I'm using Iceland, for example. You don't have to use Iceland. You can use any type of landscape image you want. But the point here is I'm got the word Iceland and I've got a background of Iceland in the picture, so they're kind of connected that way. So you might want to pick a place and do the same thing. So once you've picked a place, just go ahead and let's get an image. And this is very easy. You can maybe even make your search more specific. For example, you can type in landscape so you get a nice landscape image. And what you can also do is you can select this tools and you can search for a large size photo. So you don't get a little mini landscape. You actually get something pretty big, and it'll make your end project a lot better. So I don't know, this one looks pretty cool. Got some green colors in it and all that stuff. Once you've found your picture, just right click it, copy it. You don't even need to save it. Save some time. Who's got time for that? And we're ready to go. So once you have your image copied, go File, New, and your clipboard image right here. So just like in the previous, actually I don't know if this was in the previous. So based on the image you have copied right now, if you choose this clipboard template, your canvas will be the exact same size as the image you've copied. So hit it with a Control V to paste or place in. You can also just go into File and paste it in that way. But Control V is pretty universal and easy to use. So this will be the image for my text. So the very first thing we need to do is down in your layers window, go ahead, right click your layer, and let's duplicate this layer. Doesn't matter what you name it. All that matters is now you have two layers. You have two pieces of paper on top of each other, and they're the exact same piece of paper, so it doesn't look like anything has happened. Now let's add a third layer. We are going to add just a blank. So I should point out this button right here. We're going to add a solid color layer. And we can always change the color of this layer. So let's just keep it white for now. White seems to work pretty good. So just move your color switch to the top left and click OK. So now it looks like your other pictures are gone, but don't worry. Remember your layers. So this layer we just added, we have 3 layers. This one is on the top, so it is the first thing we see when we can't see all the layers below it. So you're going to click and drag this solid fill layer, and you're going to move it so that it is in between your 2 picture layers. Just like that. It's kind of like a sandwich. You got a picture, the whites, and then the same picture. Now we just need one final layer. We need some text. So what you can do is you can click on this top layer and we can add some text. So to add text, you can press T on your keyboard, or you can click the text tool over here. Give it a click and then press anywhere on your image and you will get some default text. And just start typing away. So whatever landscape you chose, whatever place you chose, just type it out like that. Now I've already chosen a text, so your text might not look as good as this one. So you have all these text options, different fonts to choose here. But really the most important one is that you choose a font type, and whatever font you go with, you might want to choose the bold option. So just make sure you have your text highlighted, pick a font, and make it nice and bold. Now what you can do is you can highlight all your text, and we can make the text a bit bigger. In fact, 300 is as big as the default ones go. I might make it even bigger. It looks like I could, the bigger the better. Because you don't want to start upscaling and downscaling because it's going to make things look all pixely and stuff. So maybe I'll do 400. You can also change the color of your text. This doesn't matter too much because the color of our text is going to be replaced by the background. But just to make my life easier, I'm going to choose to make the text white so it's nice and bright and I can see it. Now you can select the Move tool by pressing V or this button, and you can click and drag your text so that it sits nicely and it's nice and big and it kind of fills the entire landscape of your picture. All right, this is all pretty basic. Now this is where the magic happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my text layer so that it is the second layer. So now I can't see the text. I've got my image, I've got text, I've got the white, and I've got the same image. So this is how your layers should be set up right now. What I can do now is I can click the very top layer and I can click this little button right here. And I can choose the Create Clipping Mask option. And once I've done that, basically what I've told Photoshop is that you can see this little arrow right here. This image is being masked to this text. So what that means is wherever this text is in your Photoshop image, we are only seeing the pixels of our background image where this text is. And it's kind of confusing to understand, and you don't really need to understand it, but basically Photoshop knows that, okay, I'm only going to show this background image where this text shows up. That's all it's doing. Now we can hit our text layer. So if you select your text layer, you can hit it with a Control T to transform it. We've done that before. So that you can move your text into somewhere where you got lots of color, somewhere where you're liking how things look. I kind of liked it. It was a pretty good spot where it was, so I might just put it right there. Sure, why not? Let's do that. And once you're happy with where your text is, I'm kind of missing out on the green, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. Let's go right there. Once you're happy with where your text is, you can press Enter on your keyboard, or you can hit this check mark right here. Now, I can do something just for artistic taste with my text layer selected down here. So you should still have your text layer selected. We can add an effect by clicking this button right here. And we can add all of these options. Let's just keep it simple. Let's do a drop shadow, the very bottom one. So once you click that, you should see this little menu pop up. You can push this to the side for now, because the easiest way to work with drop shadows is to just click on your image, click on the image, and you can actually move this drop shadow around wherever you like. So I'm going to put it kind of a bit lower and a bit to the right. Maybe something like that. You can change how dark your drop shadow is with this opacity slider. So you could have it completely black or no black at all. I'm going to do around 60. And there's some other sliders here you can fiddle around with. For example, you can make the shadow more bigger, I guess, not as defined. The distance is really not really useful because we can just move it with our mouse. So just find somewhere that looks a bit nice. Once you're happy, click OK. And not really necessary, but a cool thing to do is if you select your text option now and you click on your Iceland text, you can move these letters a bit closer. So for example, if you hold Alt and press the left arrow key, it kind of tightens up the spacing in between your text. So if there's just a little too much white in between my letters, I'm just gonna, just for artistic sake, I'm just gonna bring them in here. Nice and close together. Once you're happy, hit the check mark. And we're pretty much done here. The only thing left is there is a lot of white space. So if I was making a website or making a video and I really don't need all of this white stuff around it, you can hit it with a mask. So if you click the crop tool, you'll notice this border pops up around your image. And we can simply click and drag so that we are cropping out all that extra stuff that we don't need. There we go. You can also do the sides if you want. My sides are pretty good as they are. Maybe I can bring that one in just a little bit. Once you're happy, press enter or just hit the check mark. And there you have it. A nice text clipped with an image or masked with an image and a little bit of drop shadow and some text effect. Pretty simple to do and a pretty cool effect for the future.